Welcome back to another video, everyone. Today I'm going to be going over my entire fragrance collection, and this video is partially inspired by my girlfriend because she asked me, how many fragrances do you have and how much money have you spent on this hobby? And only then did I ever stop to realize or stop to just like actually calculate to see how much money I spent on this hobby. And to my surprise, I've spent a good deal. Now I think I already put the number up in the title, but it is around $3,000, and that's not including some of the older bottles I have, and that is also not including any like purchases that I've bought, like not redundant, but multiple purchases of the same fragrance. That's not included in the total amount of money. But anyways, let's get started. I have all of them over here. I'm gonna go through them one by one, and we'll see how long this takes. I will try not to take too long on each fragrance, just to sum it up a bit and you know why it's actually in the collection. But to start off, I am going to show you guys Bugari Atlantique, and it's only fit and it's only fair that I start off with this one because this is my first fragrance in my collection. And the reason it is because I was looking for a summer fragrance, and I went into the duty-free store initially to buy Versace Man Eau Fraiche because everyone was talking about it and they said it's a great fragrance. So that's what I wanted to get. However, I went in the store, I tried it, and I couldn't really pick it up. And that's something that I experienced with certain fragrances. I don't know if it's the fragrance fault or if it's the store's fault because they don't store them properly. A lot of them have like LED lights shining on them. And also I don't know if they temperature control their store during the night, or you know, so there's various factors that could contribute to a fragrance going bad, but it's not necessarily that they smell bad. I just can't smell them. I can't pick them up. I don't know if it's just because my nose is blind, but that was at the beginning of my fragrance journey too. So I tried Versace Man Eau Fraiche, way too light. I could barely pick anything up. So I put that back down, and then I laid eyes upon this one. I tried it. I could actually smell this of all the other fragrances I tried. This is the one that was probably the strongest, and let me tell you guys, this is strong. This stuff lasts a long time. I would say it's on par to Dior Saage, like one of the earlier batches. I mean, Dior Saage is still really strong, but this stuff, amazing. I almost got MBlock Explorer as my first fragrance because my dad brought it to me. He's like, hey, this one smells pretty good. And I tried it and I was like, yeah, dude, that is amazing. But for some reason, I thought it would be more of a winter scent, because to me, MBlock Explorer was a complicated scent and I kind of thought it was spicy for some reason. I do have it here, so let me give it a smell. I did end up getting it later. I don't know, it smelled really good, but it didn't smell like summer. It had more depth to it than what I was expecting, so that's why I was like, oh no, I can't rock it in summer. And then I saw the black bottle and everything. I was like, oh, that'd be great for winter for some reason. But anyway, so I settled on this one. This is the first one I've ever bought. I still have just under half of the bottle left. I don't use it as often anymore. It's more just for nostalgic purposes. It really is a shame that it kind of went under the radar. Not a lot of people talk about it anymore, and even back then, I mean, there were a few YouTubers who mentioned it, but the Bulgari Aqua line goes under the radar a lot. So this is the first one in the list. I think I'm just gonna place them down here once I'm done with them. All right, next one up. This is in no particular order. Got Stronger With You Intensely. I mean, I bought this one during a period where I kind of wasn't into fragrances. I kind of took a break, and then I walked into the local shoppers and I was smelling around, and then I smelled this one. I think I watched a few videos on it online and I just loved it. And I kept going back. Whenever I went back to the store, I kept trying this one on. And then I eventually pulled the trigger, bought it, and I've never looked back since. I mean, this stuff is amazing, great for the winter, even fall, you can kind of pull it off, late fall. But especially during the Christmas season, it fits perfectly. I got so many compliments with this thing. Someone even told me I smell like Christmas. Like, for some reason, this just really emulates the same kind of like atmosphere or vibe that you'd get from Christmas too. So this is the second bottle in my collection. Tagging along with this one just because I think the scent profile is pretty similar. This is a more recent purchase, and you guys might make fun of me, but I keep it in the box. This is Latafa Camera. I just think the presentation is so nice. Let me just lift the lid for you guys. I mean, look at that. That's crazy. So I do keep it in the box for two reasons. The presentation is nice, but also because for this fragrance, I don't really wear it that often. For me personally, it is very similar to Stronger With You Intensely, at least the opening. The dry down is quite different, but this one leans more feminine. So in situations where I do want this kind of fragrance, I would most likely opt for Stronger With You Intensely. So I think this is amazing, and I don't regret buying it for, I think it was like 60 Canadian. The presentation, the juice, the longevity and projection on this is great too, so I don't regret buying it. I just don't use it as often, and eventually I will. If I ever run out of this will be my next go-to, or I might gift it to someone. I'm not sure, we shall see. I've only sprayed it a few times. I did that first impressions video. That's about it. I haven't really worn it since, but it is in the collection. And now that summer's coming up too, I don't think it's gonna get a lot of wearings. But on to the next one. Okay, this one is one of my favorites. You guys surely know about this. Armani Code Parfum. I got this in a gift set. It's actually really well priced for 75 milliliters. I think, I could be wrong, but I think it was either 105 Canadian or 115 Canadian. I'm not sure. Anyways, it was a really good deal. This stuff smells amazing, sophisticated. I think works really well in the summer. I looked it up on Fragrantica, and I think it had full bars for spring, fall, winter, and then half of a bar for summer, which makes no sense to me. I don't see how this fits winter more than summer. Now, I could be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure. Actually, let me just make sure. I do have my laptop here, or like my setup, so I'm gonna search it up. Armani Code Parfum Fragrantica. I don't want to mislead you guys. Yeah, it says full bar for winter, full bar for spring, summer is half, and then fall full bar. I mean, that doesn't really make sense to me. That's not what I get from this. I think this fits summer way more than it fits winter, but regardless, amazing scent profile. I think it's better than the original Armani Code, or at least it's better for me than the original Armani Code. I like the bottle design too. Some people complain that it's too simple, but I love it. Sleek, modern, and then you also get a magnetic cap. Are you kidding me? I mean, it's not to the same strength as Dior's magnetic caps for like Dior Sauvage and Elixir and stuff, but it's still pretty good, and I just love this bottle and I love the scent. So on to the next one. Speaking of Dior Sauvage Elixir. This is another fragrance that I bought when I kind of took a break from fragrances, and this kind of happens to me every few months. I'll kind of like, I'm not really into the fragrance space, you know, and then I come back and then like I buy new fragrances and stuff, but you know, sometimes you just get caught up with life that fragrances for me kind of take a step back in priority. But regardless, I went into Shoppers I saw that Dior released a new Sauvage version. I smelt it, I liked it, I bought it instantly. I didn't watch any videos, I didn't know it was just released. I just saw it in the store, I smelt it, and I bought it. It was around 300 Canadian, I think, with taxes. They only had the 60 milliliter. Probably would have bought the 100 if it was available, but this stuff is amazing. I love it. Some people don't, but I think it just takes Sauvage and it adds more depth, it adds layers. It's still Sauvage, but it smells so intricate, if I can say it, if I can put it that way. Some people say it's like the niche version of Sauvage because there's just like a lot more going on in here. And I mean, you're paying that niche price tag, so of course it's not a niche. I'm just saying it gets compared. They say it has resemblance to a niche fragrance, and I would agree. I think this stuff is amazing. The cap, I love to play with this. I mean, it's super strong, always clicks into place. Got the CD on the top, CD on the bottom. I don't know if you guys can see that. Now the thing with this is maximum 1 to 2 sprays, because this will literally fill the whole room. If you put 3 sprays, that's way too much. You gotta take a shower and you'll still smell it off of you. So careful with the trigger if you guys want to buy this one. But in terms of like, you know, price to value proposition, I think this is worth it. It's super expensive, but you're getting what you're paying for. Mine is, it looks like it's about halfway. I can't tell for sure because the bottom, like there's a big indent, so I don't know exactly where my halfway point is. I mean, my juice stops around here. It looks about halfway, and because it's indented, I'd say I have less than half, but that stuff is amazing. I don't wear it as much anymore. I used to wear it a lot right when it came out. But now I kind of wear it just for like more special occasions. And I do like 1 to 2 sprays, 1 spray usually. Next fragrance. I talked about this one a lot. I don't think this one comes as a surprise to any of you either. Givenchy Gentleman Reserve Privé. I got this just a month and a half ago or about 2 months ago. No regrets. This is my first boozy scent. I didn't think I would like it, but I love it. It's amazing. The bottle design is sick. And the bottle design is something that I care about. I know it's kind of superficial. I mean, not really. You're still paying for it, so you might as well like it. The juice is important, but also the bottle designs. I mean, most of the bottles I do have, I love, and the juices are amazing, which, you know, just blows my mind. These marketing teams really know what they're doing. But yeah, Givenchy Gentleman Reserve Privé. Love this one. Next, I got YSL EDT, another blue kind of fragrance. I was hesitant on purchasing this for the longest time because, oh sorry, almost knocked over the camera. Because before this, I had bought Jeremy Fragrance's Office For Men. So I'm kind of doing 2 fragrances at once here. I bought this because he had a Valentine's Day sale, I think, and he gave, it was either 60 or 70% off, and I thought if I'm ever gonna buy it, now's the time, now is my chance. So I ordered it, I got it, and to me, these smell pretty similar to each other. So when I smelled this in the store, I was like, dude, I'm just getting Office For Men 2.0, and they are similar, but they still are different. I'm not sure if I'm the only one that kind of draws similarities between the two. If you have both and you kind of get the same thing, let me know, because I haven't really seen anyone talk about it. But I've used this as my work scent for last summer when I worked in the summer. It's nice, it's good. I kind of got used to it. So I'm not very blown away by it at the current moment. Again, I use that as my work scent, so but the bottle is nice, really popular, great alternative to Dior Saage EDT if you don't want to be super basic, but you still want to smell like a blue fresh kind of vibe. That's great for you. And then Office for Men, I mean, do we need any more introduction? I'll say this every time, the cap is super cheap. I don't even think it's worth half a cent. That's possible. This stuff lasts a long time, but other than that, I don't have much to say. It's not really a love for me. It smells good. I can see why it smells, or why it would work in the office. It's good. That's about it. For both of these, they're good. Can't go wrong with buying them, but they don't really blow me away anymore. These are kind of like dumb reaches. Like if I've been wearing the same fragrance for a bit and I want to try something new, I'll reach for one of these and they'll fit pretty much any situation and everyone will like them. So those are those two. And now let's move on to the next one. I mentioned this. I got this during my first year of university and I just ran through this stuff. It's pretty much empty if I level it out. It looks like, okay, in the camera, because I looked at it, it looks like there's a lot, but there isn't. I'd say like there's less than 10% in this bottle. And this stuff smells great. In my opinion, compared to other Creative Ventus clones, it is better. It's a better scent profile. However, it just doesn't last that long. And that's really a bummer for this fragrance, because if it did last long, I'd be using this instead of Club de Nuit Intense Man. But I mean, even the bottle is pretty nice. They got engraving on the metal. It's not really a cap, but the metal platform. Then you got a bunch of glass here at the bottom. You got the MBlock logo outlined. Really nice scent. I love the bottle. Just wish it lasted longer. Once this started to run out and once I was like practically empty, I switched over to Club de Nuit Intense Man. So I don't use it anymore, but it did carry me throughout like the first year of uni. Amazing stuff. Okay, next I got this one as a gift. It was like at a Secret Santa exchange. I don't think I ever would have thought to buy a David Beckham fragrance, but for what it is, it actually surprised me a lot. I don't expect a lot from these fragrances made by like celebrities or like soccer players. Like I'd never get a Ronaldo fragrance or even Messi. The GOAT, in my opinion. I don't want to cause any conflict, but you know, even if it was for my favorite soccer player, I probably would not buy their fragrance because it's just like, for them, it's an afterthought. You know what I mean? They asked their like, you know, marketing or, you know, I don't know, who's their like right-hand man. They're like, hey, I want to create a fragrance. They're like, okay, how do you want it to smell? I want it to smell good and fresh, you know, and they all kind of smell the same. But this one, very nice. I think this smells very formal. Like you could wear this with a suit. And now I don't know how much it costs. I mean, I did search it up. I don't know how much the person paid for it. I don't know if you can get this discounted. I assume you can, I'm not sure. But I mean, it's got a magnetic cap. The scent is pretty good. I would recommend this as a cheapie. I wear it to the gym sometimes. I've worn it to work before, but as you guys can see, I haven't really made a dent in it. But it's good nonetheless. It surprised me, and this will probably be the only fragrance that I buy from like, or that, not that I buy, that I'll have from like a celebrity. And Jeremy Fragrance does not count as a celebrity. He was actually very good before his downfall, or whatever you want to call it. But anyways, I don't think I named it. I don't think I gave the name. This is David Beckham, Follow Your Instinct. Right, gotta move a little faster because we're already at 20 minutes and I don't think I've gone through half. So Club de Nuit Intense, man, I've mentioned this before. This is still my first bottle. I'm almost done. I kind of have to do a double spray every time because it's so low and I don't know which way the sprayer is leaning. I always forget. So it is running low. I gotta open the new one very soon. And a few people have said that the new batches don't last at all. So I'm very curious to see if mine lasts. Sometimes it's hard to tell if, you know, it's just like, oh, it's one person's fragrance that just wasn't stored properly and went bad, or if it's like an entire batch that's affected. So I'm curious to see if my new one will smell good and last as long. And I think after I run out of my second bottle of this, I'm gonna get the limited edition because everyone in my comments, and I appreciate you guys, they really recommend that one and they say it's the best. So I'm gonna try to get my hands on that one after I finish my second bottle of Club de Nuit Intense, man. And now this may be a spoiler, depending if I release the other video first. If I release this one, then I've spoiled the 2 new purchases I've made. But here is Dior LOM Intense. This is the big boy, the 150 milliliters. This stuff is great. It doesn't do anything super crazy, but as a daily kind of, what do you call it, a dumb reach fragrance, perfect, will suit pretty much all occasions. And I mean that. When I smell this, there's not one season that comes to mind. Like this just works for everything and anything you could be doing. I smelled this when it came out. I hesitated on buying it because everyone was like hating it because they expected it to be something else that it's not. It's essentially a rebranding of the Dior Homme line, but people thought it was gonna be the same kind of scent as the 2010 Dior Homme. I think it was from 2010. But anyways, it's not. It's its own thing. They basically rebranded this line, and I think it fits very well. I mean, for someone who wants a fragrance and they're just like, they're not really in the fragrance game. They're like, I want a fragrance from Dior. Let me see what they have. The best thing for men. You know what I mean? And if they pick this up, I think it'll fit for pretty much any occasion they need, any time of the year. It's great stuff, and I would recommend it to all of you. If you guys need another dumb reach fragrance, try Dior Homme 2020 and let me know if you like it or not. And now moving on, no surprise to anyone, Dior Saage EDT finally gave in and I purchased this. This was around, I'd say it was within the first like 12 to 15 bottles that I've purchased. And as you guys can see, it has been nearly emptied. I use it because it smells good and it's a dumb reach. And believe it or not, I still got and still get compliments when I wear it. People smell it and they're like, man, that stuff just smells good, you know? Most people, or at least the ones I'm around, can't tell it's Dior Saage. They're just like, dude, that just smells, or not that just smells. They'll just be like, dude, that smells really good. And I'm like, thanks, you know what it is? And then they're like, no. And I tell them and they're like, ah, okay. But like in the air, again, it depends what type of people you're around. The people in my general area, Southern Canada, can't really tell it's Dior Saage. Maybe people just don't wear fragrances around here. But it smells good. Very nostalgic to me. It brings back memories from like 2 summers ago. Used to wear it a lot. Went like camping and stuff. So I love it for the memories it brings back. The scent profile, not so much, but it's still good. If you really want to buy it, you could. I think there's better options out there, but. And then next, I got Prada LOM Intense. This is a love for me. My dad had it first. I think you guys heard the story. If not, go check out my other video on the only 2 fragrances or the only fragrances I've ever rebought. I think that's the title. It's featured in that video. Amazing scent. I wear this all the time. This is my second bottle, and I hope they don't discontinue it. This one is one of those fragrances that, you know, every once in a while gets rumored that they're not going to be making anymore. And then I always see it stocked at my local shoppers. So I hope they don't ever discontinue it. Okay, next I got Burberry, which no one really talks about, to be honest. I mean, it's not a fragrance house that is loved by many. And this is a fragrance that I think was released in the 1980s. I could be wrong. It's just called Burberry For Men. And it's good. I have worn it, as you guys can see. I'm actually surprised I've worn that much. I don't know how that happened. It's good, but I can kind of tell it's dated. It doesn't smell very modern. But nonetheless, I got this one from my grandpa, so it does mean a lot to me. Not my favorite scent, but it still smells good, and I wear it once in a while, casually, like around the house or whatnot. Next, Armani Code Profumo. I mean, everyone has heard of this. It smells amazing. People relate it to like a fizzy root beer. Great for the winter, great for the fall. Apparently it's not discontinued. One of my subscribers said that a lot of these fragrances, like Armani Strong With You Intensely, is still available in Europe, and now they restocked it in Canada too, or at least most locations in Canada, so they baited us with that one. But yeah, so apparently you can still pick up some of these discontinued fragrances depending where you are, but this is a great one. I love it. I also have the bigger brother, I would call it, Armani Code Absolute. This is the 110 milliliters. Yeah, big chunky bottle. This one is my favorite between the two. I like this one more. Even the bottle design just looks so nice. Got texture over here, gold, reflective. I don't know if it's reflective, but it is kind of shiny. Anyways, love this one. Great for the winter. I don't wear these two as much, just because if they do turn out to be discontinued, I don't want to run out of them. So I use them wisely. And to be honest, it's hard to put big dents in bottles. Now that my collection is decently big, it's not huge by any means, but you know, when I have like more than 20 fragrances, it's hard to put dents in one unless I just use that one all the time. This is another fragrance that my grandpa gave me like 10 years ago, maybe even more. I love it. I wish I could get my hands on this, and I could probably find bottles for it, but it'd probably cost me an arm and a leg for it, so I'm not interested. Armani Code Ultimate. I love the scent. I love it more than Profumo and Absolute. Maybe just because it's nostalgic, but great fragrance. See, fragrances like this and the one I got from my grandpa, the other one, were not included in the total. But I'm just including it in the video because I'm also showcasing my collection. So next, we got probably the most expensive fragrance. The cheapest one would definitely be David Beckham, Follow Your Instinct. And then the most expensive one is here. Actually, Club de Nuit could also be one of the cheaper ones, but we'll see. Don't quote me on that. Either David Beckham or Club de Nuit Intense Man could be the cheapest. But this is by far the most expensive. I think it's like $350 US Canadian. 350 Canadian turns out to like $370, $380, nearly $400. But this stuff is really good. Again, this was one of the fragrances that I really did not like at the beginning. I smelt it and I was like, dude, no way people spend money on this, let alone like $400. But then it grew on me, and I just love it. The only thing is people can't really smell it on me, so I either gotta step up the sprays or people don't like it enough to mention it. One of those two. I usually do 3 to 5 though, which usually does the job for most fragrances, but you gotta adjust it for every fragrance, you know. I also have or had Mr. Burberry Eau de Parfum. This is actually a really cool bottle design. I wish companies would be more creative like this, with the little bow tie here. The cap is pretty nice. It just feels a little, the cap is sturdy, but the way you attach it feels kind of flimsy. Like this is sturdy, and then it feels like you could just like break it off. But beyond that, the bottle is nice. The color of the juice is green. I don't think you can really tell because of the reflection, but when it's a full, when the bottle is full, you can definitely tell. Green with black, looks sick, smells pretty good. It's one of those kind of like forgettable scents. There is, I think, patchouli in here. Yeah, some kind of like darker note. I like it. I think this was gifted. I think I took this from my dad. This was at the very, very beginning of my collection. You know, I wish for the other fragrances I could have given more information about like when I bought them, why I bought them. But I just don't have enough time because we're already at 31 minutes. So I kind of just mentioned like the scent profile and like if they're a favorite of mine at the current moment. And something to keep in mind is that some of these, I said the smell is kind of like, doesn't do it for me as much, but it's not to say that they're bad scents. It's just because I've worn them for a decent amount. And sometimes that initial like love kind of fades. Well, for certain fragrances, that appreciation stays, you know, and those are the ones that I wear most of the time. But every single fragrance in my collection, besides the ones I've been gifted, I bought because I loved. So everything I do own, I would highly recommend to you guys if you were interested in buying any of them. This is Burberry Brit. I had a lot of Burberrys in the beginning of my collection. I ran through this. This looks like a 100 milliliter bottle, but it's only 90. And it always reminded me of a British boy. I felt like a British boy wearing it. It's hard to explain, maybe just because it's from Burberry, but that's what came to mind. And then I got YSL myself. This is another one of my most recent purchases, this and Dior Homme 2020. Smells amazing, modern. This is like my new go-to scent. I would almost say signature scent. If you're around me, you're probably gonna smell this just because it's safe. Everyone likes it. It is pretty strong and I have no complaints whatsoever. Absolutely love it. And then the last one that I have, I made a video on it saying that it's the most overhyped in my opinion, and that still stands true. Chanel Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme. I don't have much to say about this. Everything I wanted to say, I did say on it. It's good. Some people prefer the regular Chanel Allure Homme Sport, not the Eau Extreme. I've yet to try that one, I must confess. Maybe that one's better. So that's definitely on my list to try. I don't know if I'd buy it, but I do want to try it. But anyways, that's my collection. Or should I better say that's my $3,000 fragrance collection. It's kind of crazy that, you know, I've spent that much money over the years on fragrances, but I don't regret any penny of it. A lot of these fragrances bring back memories, like YSL EDT. reminds me of like work from last summer. Dior Saage reminds me of the summer from 2 years ago, with, you know, spending time with family, friends, camping, beach, stuff like that. And then a lot of these newer fragrances that I just got recently, you know, the memories are being embedded in them as I'm wearing them, you know. So anyways, that's my collection. I've got, I think that's about like 25 bottles, 20 bottles, I don't know, I didn't count it. But thank you for watching. Let me know how many fragrances you guys have and how much money you guys have spent on them. You know, it's one of those things where, you know, you don't anticipate on dropping like, you know, $2,000 or $1,000, but you know, if you get like, if you buy retail, that really screws you over. You know, if you buy retail, you could buy like 3-4 fragrances and you're already at like $500,000. But yeah, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. That's a little insight on my fragrance collection. Again, let me know how big your collections are, how much money you guys have spent, and more importantly, let me know how many years you guys have been collecting fragrances. For me personally, it's been, I think, since pre-COVID. It's like 2019 or 2018, so I'm coming up to like 5 years. And I think it's a decently sized collection. I didn't want to just buy, you know, as many fragrances as I can. There are a lot out there that smell good, but I just want to buy the ones that I do really like personally. And on top of that, I need to get into niche fragrances more. So I don't really have any niche, but the thing with niche is I can't really try them unless I get samples. So I gotta get on the sample game to try new fragrances to see if I like them. But yeah, anyways, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time. See ya.